Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Mobius Front 83, where it's patch day. There was a patch between this episode and last episode. Playing games this way is kind of an interesting thing. When I play games myself, I tend to just devour them. Like, I'll play... If my responsibilities will allow, I'll just play a game for like 8 to 10 hours a day, every day until it is completed. So usually I play a game entirely on one patch, or at least a short single-player game like this. Playing in Let's Play format really lets you experience the developer's changing opinion of their own work, which I think is a really interesting thing. So, gameplay changes that matter from this patch. First of all, rebalanced a bunch of missions that our metrics indicated were abnormally difficult. Hard to know exactly what that means. Will that affect the level we're on right now? Maybe. Increased the base health of quote-unquote proper tanks from 3 to 4 so that they're slightly more survivable, and increase the damage of the M67 used by enemy anti-tank teams to 2 to 6 so that they can still one-shot your tanks. I'm pretty sure that just refers to that one unit of enemies that has to set up but has 6 range, and not to the anti-tank vehicles the enemy has. So that's good. That should lead to fewer times that the enemy tanks are just two-shotting our tanks with us not having any way of responding to it. That's good. Utility helicopters, the UH-1 and the UH-4, can fire their door guns while flying and after landing. I appreciate that. I think that gives those units a lot more actual use. To be perfectly honest, the while flying buff is huge. I would honestly have probably been happy enough with it if they could just fire after landing. Added an ammo count to mortar teams, so mortar teams only have 6 rounds. I assume this applies only to the infantry unit, not to the mortar vehicles. Added an ability to M813 cargo trucks that resupplies ammo to friendly infantry, and some AI adjustments, including more defensive play on Sam Hunt missions, so that's probably going to affect us here. I don't know, M813 cargo trucks, is that all of the trucks that have guys in them? It might be. So let's have a quick look at... Obviously, the observation helicopter does not have a gun here. Our stuff didn't really change. Yeah, but our tank now has 4 health, which makes all tanks maybe even more correct as a strategy. And I think we're going to give this another go. You know, it is definitely the case that playing with infantry opens you up to a whole bunch of avenues of being pushed back that you just don't have to worry about if you're only using things that have at least 1 point of armor. Oh, interesting. That's very different behavior, them having something this far forward. I am surprised. It may totally still be right to, boy, what an interesting decision. It may totally still be right to bring a Bennett instead of one of those... Is Bennett the right word? Bradley. To bring a Bradley instead of one of the tanks. The Bradley has some value for sure. But these guys do not have any value. This is just a real weird play. I mean, I'm assuming this is probably some of that rebalancing that we're seeing here, right? Okay, wow, they're getting really aggressive with their vehicles. What happened to more defensive? Alright, so we're gonna have to fall back a little bit here. Let's see, I'm not gonna be able to finish off this mortar team. But yeah, with them having rolled up this number of vehicles simultaneously, we obviously can't stay in or just run forward and try to do the thing. So let's see. You can realistically only fall back about this far. We'll be able to move to here or here if we want to, once we move the units out of those spaces. I think I am going to go to here. Let's have you fall back 1 extra space. I'm gonna do it like this. I want to see if they'll chase us. Let's play around with the new AI a little bit. Let's learn some things, shall we? they're definitely far more aggressive, which is good for us, really. Okay, this guy has exposed himself to 3 heat shots, so the odds of us not getting a kill here are quite low. Yeah, we all would have had to fire in the all 3 of them would have had to fire in the bottom half of the damage range. That's not a safe thing to do. I want to shoot guys, but mostly it's just out of feeling like I should shoot guys. We certainly don't need to. I might not actually even move here. Alright, so a question. Do we deploy the smoke in the hopes of the enemies running into us and trying to take the shots? I'm gonna do it. There's no reason not to, I guess. It ensures that we can't do a stand and fire, but I think it's pretty likely that we would not have wanted to do a stand and fire anyway. Alright, and then they're gonna deploy 10 points worth of units. Okay, we're gonna definitely have to get aggressive here. So you don't quite have a shot. How do we want to do this? I mean, these guys they have the same weapon, effectively, when they're stationary. So really what we want to do... Can we... Yeah, we could just push this way. We could just abandon that and have 2 of our vehicles. No, we can have all 3 of our tanks rush this guy, which I think is the right play. We just peel the enemies. Okay. And then you fall back behind the trees. You fall back behind the trees. And we get more deployment. And it's gonna be a tank. And this is gonna blow your minds. Also, I think I'm gonna put out a tank, maybe? You know, just a tank, and then we'll bring in a Bradley. And then another VADS, maybe? This gives us a fair number of reasonable anti-aircraft and anti-infantry guns, while still having a lot of tank cannon. And they are, because they're playing forward, it's going to take a lot longer for their reinforcements to get to them, and I think it's pretty likely that we're going to end up with a, Oh yeah, I totally did just deploy within 6 tiles of him, didn't I? I think it's pretty likely that we're going to find ourselves in position to kill a lot of their units off and thus negate their advantage. How do I want to deal with this? What's the best way to do this? Well, probably thing number 1 is shoot down that helicopter with all of our anti-helicopter tools, right? There's no way for me to shoot that helicopter from a position where I can't be tanked, so we're just going to do it from here. And you can also do yours. You can't hit any of the other stuff, so you may as well do this. And I think we're just going to roll up on him. So you can't participate, unfortunately. And I probably could have positioned better. But yeah, I think we just move in and have at them. So who do I care about most? I care about you most. Okay, well, that was very lucky. That was very unlucky. So now we're even. And now we're rolling it about even. And then we're very lucky, so, you know, now we're up 1. Now, we do have to watch out for these guys, but because they're here, this tree is blocking their line of sight. So they can only actually shoot at us if we come, like, this far forward. And you don't want to end your turn adjacent to those dudes. But you do want to kind of come around here and be a menace, I think. Make it feel like there's not a lot of safe places for that infantry to stand. They're being much more aggressive with their infantry. I like that a lot. Only one of you is going to be able to get range on them. Okay, well in that case I might just back this tank up. Yeah, I think I will. So this is a little risky because we don't exactly know where all their stuff is. We're going to roll one of these tanks forward. You need a little bit more vision? Okay. So I don't, while looking for opportunities to shoot enemy infantry, I don't want to wander into an anti-tank vehicle. We don't know exactly how many they have left. Alright, now that we see that, I do feel a little bit safer. Is that the one we knew about already, or is there one here too? Man, my memory. Okay, definitely not safe to approach that way. This is a number of tanks. If I were playing against this number of tanks, I would be very concerned. This would be a is this even possible moment? So I'm thinking that they're probably going to have some feelings. Okay, so they have a real tank. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is not an anti-tank. This is a soft tank, not a real tank. Interesting movement. Like really weird decision making on their part, I think. All right. Well, let's start with this. Do I? I think I just let's use the anti-air stuff to shoot at the truck first. Ah, that's a shame. That's a bad time to roll a 1. So we could move it and just go for it here. If we lose that tank, we accept that loss as a I'm gonna move this thing up, and we're just gonna machine gun the truck down. If we take this loss, we accept it as a cost for keeping these units busy while we untangle all this noise. But we don't really need to do that. You know what? These guys will. It's good to have the Bradley up because these guys we can unfurl some dudes to pressure the anti-tank missile. And then it's like, do we just fire at weapons teams and let them determine the pace of forward movement, or do I want to rush this guy now while it's relatively safe to do so? The thing is, it's really not, though, right? Like, in order to shoot at him, we need to be down in a place where this anti-tank missile team can get us, so probably what we need to do is, despite the fact that this is the... Oh no, never mind. I was going to say, despite the fact that this is a unit we care more about, we should kill these guys because they're in the way. But actually, that's not true. That mortar team is irrelevant to us. I mean, we shoot them, but we shoot them because we have nothing better to shoot at as we continue to move forward. And I think I do just fall back here. I'm not going to roll the dice on trying to kill those guys. I like having all this vision, though. Maybe I fall back to here? It's a position where I'm in no danger, but it just... No, that's crazy. Because then if they move their anti-tank team forward, we're just stuck. Let's just move to here. I hate losing the vision, but it's certainly not safe to sit in that corner anymore, because they're actually being pretty aggressive with their infantry teams. Alright, unfortunately we are going to have to take this a little bit slowly because I didn't set this guy up as far forward as I wanted to, on account of I couldn't. And we'll just hammer these dudes. If the enemy doesn't want to move their vehicles forward, that's fine by me. So let me pick up all of this stuff. Do we... Nope, that's not safe. I was going to say, if we take this space and this space, we could just kill this anti-armor team very easily. But apparently we will not be doing that. We probably should be shooting at this truck, though, right? it's tricky. We can't get him from enough positions. And I'm certainly not going to do this. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just get this much damage in and then we'll solve it later. And you guys, I don't actually know what I want to do with you. I think I want to leave you in place. If they want to roll stuff forward into us, they are allowed to do so. But we are under no real pressure to move forward just yet. We have a massively advantageous position here. Really strange play. I get, like, just moving into us because they just picked up the reinforcements and they're thinking, like, this is a moment for numerical superiority. But doing that while simultaneously disengaging this team feels very strange. Okay, can't quite hit you. So do I just fire at these guys? I think so. Alright, these dudes are mostly maintaining visibility for us, and that is fine. You are a mortar team. So I mean, we gotta push the enemy vehicles, right? But we have to push the enemy vehicles carefully, because we do not know the positions of all of the other enemy stuff. We have to push these enemy vehicles respectfully, is what I'm saying. Are we going to be able to get... Yeah, okay, we can get 2 shots in on this guy, and I think that's what we ought to take. That's no good. Moving you should allow me to get this. I'm gonna just roll these dice. Okay. Moving this guy out of the way and then moving this tank 1, 2, 3 to there would have let us take another shot, and that definitely would have been the thing I would have done if we had to. The fact that we didn't have to makes me want to just push up and fire on this one, since we have 2 shots to try to get it in. Alright, math breaking pretty much my way. And you just move around, I think. I did leave a tank right next to this anti-armor team, and I think that was a fair trade-off. I'm not too upset about that. They can't kill me. No, they can. 2 to 6. Okay. Wow. Rolled a 5. I think that's a fair trade, trading this tank for that tank down there. And he's not even actually dead, right? So, what do we care about now? What are the most important plays at this moment? I mean, being able to roll these guys a little bit further forward is really valuable, I think. So that's just a mortar team. I mean, we gotta take down this helicopter. Okay, I did walk into this a little bit. Oh, nobody can quite get position to finish things off. You can. And neither of these teams are a danger to you. Okay, there we go. So we got that guy down nice and early. I honestly don't think it's worth our time to finish killing these guys, because, like, protecting this tank has no value. So I think we just move up. I don't think I even bother with this. I don't think I care about that guy at all. You can't penetrate my armor on the move anyway. So you move here, you just get back in the Bradley. Yeah, so we have exposed ourselves to this. There are odds. Well, like, he's 2 to 6, so we get like a 40% chance of losing a tank that he fires at while stationary. Oh, does he not have... the way the trees are set up is real awkward for him. I'm kind of surprised that he can't do this. We've seen units fire along the side of hexes that were obstructed before, haven't we? I was pretty sure that was true. I guess maybe not. So we can get 2 units into position to shoot him. Are we just going to push him? I think we're just going to push him at this point. So there is still either a tank or an anti-tank unit down there. I can't exactly tell which. I keep seeing it for just little glimpses, just little moments. Alright, definitely trying to kill you. Unfortunately, we can't get another shot on that guy, I don't think. But that's fine. It's going to be very difficult for him to set up. Okay, let's gun you down this way. So, do you have unobstructed line of sight on anyone? No, you do not, currently. Alright, well, we don't want to end the turn adjacent to that dude. But this feels like it's basically over, right? I wonder if this is one of the missions that their metrics were finding was one of the harder ones. It did seem more difficult than, I think, everything else we've done. I could totally see that being the case. So let's push forward, and what can you reach with your shot? Alright, let's blow up the truck. Because those guys down there are, like, extremely under control. Yeah, I think we'll just start pushing these now. Have the Bradley finish this job. And honestly, we'll just make sure you guys go down. You guys get on the tank. Tank carries you forward. Okay. So I don't think they changed the number of enemies in this one. But if all they did was, like, move half of the enemies forward into that forward position, that does, by itself, make it considerably easier. Are we going to be able to get this turn? I don't think so. Right, yeah, we don't. We don't have another vehicle in range. What we can do is this. Not very good shooting. You call yourself a tank. Oh, right, I can't dislodge those. Have to dislodge those guys before firing. It's fine. And there's no TAS 330 on this one, I'm pretty sure. Alright, well, they definitely made that mission considerably easier between yesterday and today.
Hey, why do we still call them Ivans even though we know they're not Russians? Is that official?
Heck if I know what's official right now. I've heard like 3 different ROEs in 3 days.
Yeah, are we even allowed to shoot them?
I sure fucking hope so, seeing as that's all we've been doing for the last 2 weeks.
And also they're shooting at us.
It's not that hard to figure out, dumbass. Guy tries to kill you, you kill him back.
This is different. I mean, they're kind of like Americans, right? To them, they're the real Americans.
To us, they're Ivans. That's all that matters.
Some actually pretty scathing commentary there. Alright, there is a TIS 330 on this one. Hold out against an enemy attack until reinforcements arrive. On some missions, you will now have access to close air support. Use your recon team to destroy the enemy unit. Okay, so these guys have a portable radio and a sniper rifle. Ooh. So call for an airstrike that will hit the first target you designate next turn. So we just hit the radio button. This is cool. This is a cool way of visualizing this. Animation could maybe play like a little bit faster. So one thing that's not clear to me is whether there are whether this actually does damage or if it just kills, and if it does do damage, how much, All right, so fancy tanks, stuff available later. We do not actually have tanks right now. We do have the Bradley. And the Bradley does have one of these airstrike teams. And in fact, it's the only thing that has one of these airstrike teams. So I definitely think we should get a Bradley in here. And maybe set up the... What's the range on the laser designator is 3 tiles? So... Where are we hoping to set you up? Over here somewhere, right? Like right here... This tile would be good. Let's push the Bradley as far forward as possible. And then, do we want a second one? These ones have 4 ammo? Did they have 4 ammo before? I mean, 4's pretty good. I think we do want a second one. Do we want the second one to be in a different location? Probably not. We probably want to maintain... We'd like just try really hard to maintain control over this central area. And then we definitely do want some men in the trees. Also, now that these cargo trucks have a resupply on them, there's definitely more reason to bring a cargo truck. I think we're going to have a cargo truck try to drive forward over here and deposit people forward as much as possible. And then it's like, do we value a howitzer? It's hard to imagine getting a lot of play out of the ATGM. The enemies just usually don't allow you to do that, right? But the trees here are definitely a little bit more conducive to shooting enemies than usual. Oh, helicopters. Well, we have 2 Bradleys. Bradleys are pretty good at fighting helicopters. Alright, I think we're going to bring in a VADS. This way we have 3 things that can shoot at helicopters. We can move them all up and guaranteed get a chopper down in one if we need to. And then it's like howitzer versus probably 1 Jeep and 1 truck, maybe? Is how we would do it if we don't take the howitzer. The howitzer is certainly good against infantry. No 2 ways about that. And this area is narrow enough that there's going to be some infantry fighting. But are we better off just having more bodies? I'm going to say, we're going to try it. We have not, so far, actually tried to use one of these things. And there might be a good reason for that, but we're going to try it. Alright, so I want to get one of these Bradleys way up front. Might put the other one here. Alright, you can park on the cap point. I'm going to move it up to here. We'll see. We'll see if that's too aggressive. But remember, we're not trying to kill everything necessarily. We're just trying to get a position that is sustainable until our reinforcements come in. It's not a lot of reinforcements, but it is going to include one of those fancy attack helicopters and stuff. Alright, this is a fine place for you to set up. So we know they have vehicles over here. Me being in a real hurry to annihilate these guys is probably dangerous. Let's disembark you forward. Maybe also disembark you forward. Yeah. And then I think I might actually fall back. Because like I'm saying, we don't need to be forward. How dangerous is it to let these guys set up? We could... we can't really kill him this turn. I'm not parking a Bradley next to this dude. And if they have something dangerous, if they have a tank here, and we move up to do this, we are going to suffer. I'm going to back up. We have ways of dealing with this guy. We got the howitzer. I'm just going to back it up. I'm going to move you to here because I want this guy here. We want him to still be close, but we want to back up enough to, you know, open up this angle a little bit. From here, he could only shoot this line. Alright, let's see how they handle that. Okay, they got an APC. That's a real-ass tank, for sure. And, of course, they have their own artillery. That's a problem. So they always know exactly where my units are, even if they shouldn't, which is a bummer. I think we're going to call in the strike. I'm assuming that if you fail to designate a target next turn, probably the plane has to turn around and the thing's not available for a turn, and then you have to do another call-in. So I want to be a little cautious about this. How are we going to kill this thing? What is my plan? Is my plan just have these guys walk forward into it? Remember, they have 20 points of units on the table already, so... Here, maybe my plan is this. So their thing being mounted on a jeep makes it certainly a little softer. And then you guys... I'm gonna call him. And I'm gonna move these guys to here? Is that... No, I'm gonna stay put. I'm gonna stay put. Okay, you can move now. I just wanted to make sure that you were giving this guy the correct spacing. And I think we're just passing the turn. I mean, I can send the truck around to scout a little bit. Whoa, okay, well. Turns out we got guys. Well, I got them to put their guys out, at least. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Also that. Alright, well. Real glad I sent up that airstrike. Can you hit him? No, you cannot hit anyone. Alright, so it does not really clearly indicate whether or not you can, whether or not this does damage, or if it's just like an instant kill on whatever. It looks like it's probably... My guess is it's an instant kill on whatever. And then I think we actually have kind of a difficult question here. Of how to move these guys. Because I want to threaten that tank with our dudes. So part of me wants to just move this guy down here and this guy down here. We should probably take this shot, actually. Alright, 1 turn until there's 5 turns until we can get reinforcements in here. So this... Yeah, I could move you to here. Let's make sure that this guy knows that he is on notice. And then... Do we move you over? You lose the ability to target this space. And we can't move you forward again for a while. I think I'm going to leave him in place. And do I want to, like, maybe drive you around to have you potentially become a problem for those guys over there? No, I'm gonna stick. Alright, they have a lot of dudes. Interesting. I had to admit to being a little surprised by that one. So the air support is being refueled. Okay. Well, we have a couple of sniper rifle shots at this guy that I think we should not ignore. Get to pop that assault team right away. Feels pretty good. You should take this shot. Oh, alright, that's cool. Please. Yes, okay, that's very, very good for us. And now we have kind of an interesting situation. I think I'm going to roll this thing around. They've given me an opening, and I'm going to take it. Alright, I'm pretty sure that that was really important. If we end up losing both of those infantry units, I don't think it matters that much in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, it's not ideal, but getting rid of a thing that can potentially do 2 damage in a shot is always going to be more important. Alright, I do think that we are in a position where we gotta call up. How do we handle you guys? I'm gonna have you move to here. Oof. Okay, you're probably dead. You're also probably dead. Well, this is definitely happening. We're certainly killing those guys off. And then it's like, who else matters? I guess this guy matters. Anti-vehicle guys matter. We do want to kill them first. We could just roll you up and have you start shooting at these dudes. It doesn't matter a huge amount that you do so. I think we back you up. Have you radio in. You can't move and shoot, right? No, you can't. Okay, so yeah, I think this is perfectly safe and reasonable to do. So okay, let's think about it. We killed 2 real tanks. That's probably 6 points worth of units. We see here an APC, which probably takes them to 8. This is probably 9. We've seen 2 trucks already, which is 10, 11. You know what? I'm not going to move forward because there's way too much enemy force unaccounted for yet. And it's hard with the infantry, like, really muddles things, but yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to move forward yet. You can't really do anything. There's nowhere for you to move to where you won't immediately be shot. You can do this, I suppose. And that way, at least he's taking the turn of a vehicle. Doing 1 damage to this guy, I don't think is valuable at all. Oh hey, that's a real tank. Well, I think it's going to be something like this. I think we're just using it to kill an infantry unit. Alright, let's have you fall back. We can still fire from here, and like, we're definitely just getting ready to shoot those guys, right? And then, yeah, it's absolutely, we're just designating, like, these guys. Feels like a little bit of overkill. I may as well grab this. We can make their movement plans a little bit awkward that way. And you can't quite shoot that guy. The question is, do I want to move him away from this point? I think the answer is yes. Alright, 3 turns until we get our 10 points of attack helicopters and whatnot. Oh, interesting. Really questionable decision-making on that one. I mean, I see no reason to move. Just stand here and shoot dudes. I guess, actually, that was silly. I should have taken this shot and then had somebody else move up and do that. But if the enemy's feeling like they are not safe to attack, I think we just sit here and enjoy that. Do I want to move you? I'm gonna bring you down here. Okay, and once again, just chill for a turn. Okay, here we go. They realize that they have to do stuff. Ah, it sucks. Okay, definitely call in the airstrike. We're gonna need it. So, now a question. I mean, first of all, let's take the sniper shot at this guy, I guess. Oh, you can't even try it. Damn. I was like, maybe we'll roll the 2. You know, maybe it'll do something. All right. Let's deploy some Cobra. So this does account for all of the vehicles that we saw up there. That doesn't mean that it's actually all of the remaining vehicles, however. And I'm not exactly sure how we want to do this. I think we definitely want an Abrams. I think we split it 1 and 1. The helicopter's cool, but it's also fragile. The Abrams is now 7 effective health. It's a terrifying weapon, for sure. Oh, interesting. Okay, anti-aircraft gun over there. Probably not going to be a big deal, is my guess. Do this, and then... Do I want another howitzer? Is that how we're going to control this situation, or... Probably, actually. Looking at what we have available to us here, like, I don't necessarily... we could bring in another one of these resupply trucks, but having lost the Bradley that's fired twice already, resupply looks less necessary, potentially. I guess you could resupply the helicopter as well. So what, we would do, like, truck and rotary cannon, or truck and terrible Jeep? Honestly, not sure what the right way to do this is. But I do think the howitzer is maybe starting to run out of value. Let's do it like this. Alright, and then you guys just stay put, I suppose. And do I want to run you away? Just break line of sight on all the enemies. Now, they did just get to pull in 5 points of reinforcements, so any move we make like this is potentially going to run us afoul of some stuff. But we don't want to stop short, because I don't want to endure the 2 damage. And I would love for one of the enemy vehicles to feel like they have to come over here. So let's just do it like this. Oh, hey, that's very bad. Well, shoot those guys. Yeah, that's not good. Alright, let's see how much they prioritize killing my snipers. Okay, interesting decision making there. He's trying to kill the big tank. Don't necessarily think that's a smart play. Alright, well, this is a total no-brainer. Alright, that gives our helicopter local superiority. I'm going to try to move forward here. Let's see if we can get our rifles into a good position. So unfortunately, this guy did put himself down such that it's kind of annoying to shoot at him. So as far as we know, this is safe, but as far as we know, that's pretty tough. That's tough to rely on. I think we'll go to here and we'll just give him this. Which, yeah, definitely won't kill him and potentially won't hurt him. Not a lot we can do about it, unfortunately. I mean, we've gotten to the point where the howitzer's not really necessary anymore, so if we lose it, we lose it. It did some okay work for us, though, honestly. Enemy rolls max damage. Film at 11. Okay. Alright, so let's move you forward. Just commit you. And roll minimum damage, because of course we did. No, really, you're dead. So how far forward is it safe to deploy these troops? I think we're actually going to come around here, and I'm going to try to play them over here. This airstrike thing has been a big deal. Even though we did waste one of them, it's been very useful. Alright, so Bradley needs to move forward. Yeah, I just don't care about these guys, like, at all. You know what? We'll just do the standing shot, it's fine. So, we could just harass these guys. I would like to be in a position where the helicopter's, like, pretty safe, but is ready to counter the vehicles that we can see down there. Which I think actually is this position. And the airstrike's ready. These guys are in a good position to hit the radio while these guys position to deliver the laser. The snipers definitely work best in teams. So, there's not actually a good way, I guess, to ensure safety on this one. Yeah, you guys have to back up for sure. I guess this is how you ensure safety. But there's not, from here, a good way to ensure that we'll actually be able to, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so we have another mortar truck over there, that's good to know. We should definitely be moving up to menace that. How do we want to control our positioning here? Because obviously we have to be a little bit careful. So I want to set you up. And then these things can't hit helicopters. So I'll just roll you up here and do this. And do we radio? There's a chance that we will not have a good target for the laser designator next turn, depending on what these guys do, because we put up so much infantry in here. I think I don't radio in yet, which feels a little bit dangerous. In fact, what I do is just run this way. Yeah, I think so. We need to get these guys over to here. Alright, but it looks to me like they're in dire straits, because they have to come forward into a pretty scary group of units here, or else risk losing the mission to my truck. That's aggressive. That's an aggressive play. So now I sort of wish I had radioed in, because I would absolutely just drop a missile on top of those guys. Ah, it's a shame. Because if that had worked, then we could potentially have had these two finish off the assault team right away. We could have the helicopter take a swing here. Yeah, let's do this. We know we want to do this. It's not great. Not great. Who is surprised to discover that we rolled under the midline on our damage? Okay, some manner of helicopter. Don't actually know what. That's not a mortar at all. That's a TIS. Alright. Let's go to here. Shoot the small rockets, which probably won't damage him, but position ourselves such that he has to move. and then come at him with this thing. Okay, well now he can't move, so now he has a chance, but he's dead to the helicopter next turn, pretty much for sure. You are guaranteed to get this kill, so take it. You just take this shot. Alright, well. And I don't think we're calling for... I don't think we're radioing for an airstrike. I think we're good. So we're going to lose one of those infantry teams. Alright, I appreciate him choosing that one. Let's make sure we get you. Then we make sure we get you, because obviously this is very important. Alright, radio computer captured, and that's the match. Yeah, the airstrike's like very, very powerful, it turns out. Who would have thought?
Air power, finally. Air superiority is going to be the key to turning this thing around.
If you say so, sir.
I do say so. Don't underestimate air power, Sergeant. Future warfare is going to be all about it.
Is that what they say at West Point, sir?
Wouldn't know, Sergeant. Never went there.
Sorry for the assumption, sir.
I'll let it slide. This time.
Weird. Weird scene. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Then I might do one more mission this episode, depending on how long this takes to work out, I guess. Okay, well. How are we going to create the left and right channels here? What's the right way to do this? Because we can, like, obviously we can isolate this out. Is it something like, split this, and then amplify, no, we still have a problem here. Right, because we can't separate the signal strength of these elements. A thing we could do is potentially... What does this thing actually do? Okay, it just sends out the left and right, and also a weakened version of the middle into both places. Right? That's something. And then we split this, separate the middle channel. Boy, this would be weird though. What I would need to do here to get a top and a bottom is amplify, split, take the bottom on one branch of the split, the top on one branch of the split, and then combine all this stuff back together. Which we may or may not even have room for. It's not a very elegant solution, that's for sure. Right, and then we go, give me this top element, give me this bottom element. And then if we start jamming these things back together, like amplify this, and this does work, I think. Sorry, that's the wrong button. This guy. It feels very clumsy, though. Operation Verdant Shield showing cracks. Airstrike starting to hit. Command says carry on. We will, but that doesn't mean Randy likes it. Randy is my favorite character in the narrative so far. So, okay, apparently, it looks like it's probably only possible to do that in one fewer symbol. And to be perfectly honest with you, there's probably a way... So let's see, what is this actually counting? It looks like we scored an 11, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... Maybe this is a 12. Yeah, this is a 12 because that's 11. There's nothing at 10. So it's not counting distance. It's not counting spacers. It's only counting things that actually do instructions. Could we have done this in one fewer instruction somewhere? Obviously, it's not necessary, but the histogram makes me curious. Let's see, we need the amplify, unless we... No, we're going to need the amplify down here. We're going to need the amplify here from the double split. I bet there's a more elegant way to do this. I'm not going to obsess about it too much. We got the information. We got a solution. And yeah, let's do one more. Continue to retake enemy territory. These orders are a little light on narrative, sir. Alright, so they got 10-10, we got 5-10-5. We have a pretty well set up mortar already and a truck. So what am I... Okay, we're allowed to bring in Abrams during Phase 2. 5 is not a lot to work with. So we're probably trying to play a little bit defensive until Phase 2 hits, and then we can be a little more aggressive, but we will be behind on numbers until Phase 3. Let's bring in the Bradley. And then... maybe it's not the APC, maybe it's like truck plus... Interesting. So this weapon has to be set up, and it can only target helicopters. And it doesn't even do enough damage that you're guaranteed to kill a helicopter with it. It's this kind of stuff is really... makes me question what they think the value of this thing is. If you have to do all the work to move this thing much, much slower than a helicopter, and then to set it up afterwards, it should probably at the... and it has like very limited ammo, and it can only target one rare type of unit. It should probably at least be guaranteed to kill them if you actually manage to jump through all the hoops. Have they restricted us? So the idea is that you don't get to bring a lot of anti-air weapons, I guess? Well, that makes the case for the APC. And that's going to make it tough to defend the howitzer. You could, like, have one of those anti-air things just park in front of the howitzer, I guess, but man, that really does not leave you with a lot of bodies to fight. Maybe we'll buy one during Phase 2. They probably don't start with attack helicopters, right? They might. Alright, we're just looking for things to shoot at. Yeah, they totally do. They totally do start with attack helicopters. Just try. Who knows? You might hit him. So, you have a question here about whether it is appropriate to send the Bradley back. And I think it might be. Yo, hey entire enemy force. How's it going? You guys should get in these trees immediately. Wow, those dudes moved up fast, huh? So this thing has its M60... It is possible for this to kill the howitzer in a single hit. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Getting damage on the helicopter while it's on the ground is a good idea. And then I am going to actually have you fall way back. And you are going to deploy dudes. And then also fall back, I think? We're just playing defense for a couple turns here. Man, they were on us. I guess they have a road the entirety of the distance and they get to go first, so it's not that surprising, but it's definitely a little scary. And I wish I had guys who could move and shoot at the same time. Okay, minimum damage is good. So, what's the right way to engage here? I mean, you set up for sure. You move to here, you move to here. Those are both no-brainers. I think I just shoot at the guys who can move and shoot. I think the truck has to back up, unfortunately. Wow, hey, more anti-tank stuff. They are definitely showing us more than 10 points worth of units. Does it matter which one? Probably these guys? Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then you gotta come down here, and it has to be clear to this helicopter that his position is a danger to him. Oh right, you guys don't even have the good missiles. I think we just commit deep. Like really make him back off. I totally didn't move that truck, did I? I mean, it doesn't really matter, but... Oh, interesting that he chose to move instead of finishing the job. That does surprise me. Okay, so they've given us some opportunities here. You almost never actually get to have these guys fire. Damn. Please get the 2. Because the thing is, I think we do have to do this. Oh, minimum damage. So now I lose. That's fun. I guess, yeah, roll up around here so that if they want to kill you, they have to spend this guy at least. Yeah, so now our Bradley's dead. Because we rolled minimum damage on every weapon, our Bradley's dead, and we don't get the helicopter. Yep. Because they're not going to roll minimum damage. Perish the thought. Do we want to... I think we want to just start working these guys, if possible. See, this is weird. We know that a vehicle in the last mission could not fire along the side of a hex that had an obstruction in it, but this vehicle can fire through a hex that has obstruction. It's a good thing that there's a ruler here because they've implemented their line of sight calculations wrong, and you could not intuit whether anything will be able to shoot at anything else because of it. Alright, so we now have 2 live attack helicopters, 2 anti-tank vehicles, none of our own stuff is still alive. I mean, it's probably just bring in 2 Bradleys, right? Or 2 Abrams, right? And then also one of these things to just put next to the howitzer. It's not awesome, but I think it's right. I don't think we want another Bradley. So bring this guy in and just sit him right here, I guess. No, wait, this is the thing I was thinking. This is also good. Actually, this was probably also right to do. Do we actually even care? You know what? We have enough guns down here. I don't think I care enough about the anti-air vehicle to bring it in, but I guess it's that or a truck. If we had access to a thing that had, like, actual units in it, that would be different. But probably we don't even want this truck. It's just that this thing can't do anything else. At least once these guys are out of ammo, they have a machine gun. It's bad, but it works. This thing not having even a machine gun on it makes it so hard to justify. I think we are, in fact, doing this. Yeah. And it is probably the case that, that we're going to have to get a little bit lucky here, because we got very unlucky. We've got a lot of the enemies, like... Scary is too strong a word, but a lot of the enemies' scariest infantry stuff over here already under control. Okay. So you guys can finish that off. You can go for this. Nice of you to remember how your gun works. I guess you guys get into the trees over here? I don't know how else you're gonna be effective. You're probably never gonna be effective again. You're probably just not in position to do a thing that matters. Alright, so let's figure this out. It has a range of 6. How exactly do we want to work these? Well, okay, this is pretty much a no-brainer. Oh, right, unlike all the other guns, his gun does not work that way. Alright, let's just blow this up. I think we definitely want to do that. And then I do just have you shoot this down. You do this. So now they have to focus on you or they lose their vehicle. You do a similar thing. And I think I'm actually going to have these guys... Man, I'm torn. I'm torn on this one. I do not know what I want these guys to do. I think we're going to drive the truck over to here. So keep an eye on this anti-tank missile team for the moment, but in a position where I can't be killed for it. And then, like, I want to be able to take this back with infantry, I think. So we're going to have to put these guys up and let them get shot first so that we can fire back and then move a second team in. And yeah, I think that's the play. So they now have to spend some attention on this thing. They could kill it with the helicopter, potentially, but at least that keeps the helicopter stationary. Okay, they got their own artillery. Okay, they spent the anti-tank vehicle on it. They have lots more vehicles, which is pretty weird. Did they get another... They only got 10 points more reinforcements, right? Alright, well, whatever. Break line of sight from the helicopter. Just keep an eye on that anti-tank team. You get this, do that. You guys set up. It turns out you're in a relevant position. It's not what I thought was going to happen, but it is what has happened. And then... I think these guys are actually more important than those ones for the moment. And you're probably going to have to move, actually. Because now we know the vehicles are coming in on this side. I thought I had a pretty good position here to like catch vehicles coming out of the dark here, but they care more about the control points. Who would have thought? So, I mean, this open ground is... They're not going to try to cross this. It's not going to work if they do. Okay, not a big deal. So we have 2 anti-tank vehicles and a light tank. We have to at least try firing, there we go, in stationary mode with one of these tanks to see if we can roll the 2. We're going to come out ahead on this, but then these guys are going to be super vulnerable afterward. Alright, and we still have, somewhere over here, we still have an enemy an enemy anti-tank team that is alive. Okay. Nice of them to expose themselves. So we think that this right here is the extent of their remaining vehicles, right? Okay. Don't have to worry about those guys. Trying to figure out, is there a reason to move or not to move to any particular tile here? I think it doesn't really matter how we do this. Alright. We're definitely sort of volunteering this guy for violence, but that's the position he needs to set up in. And if we deal with this cluster of units, then our tanks make the thing completely unassailable. Like, there's no way they can fight us anymore. Yo, real questionable decision-making. I mean, I love to see it, don't get me wrong. So you... I was really hoping we could do better than that. Now I want to move forward again, I think. Just have this with you. I don't think I want to volunteer you just yet. And you don't get to do anything. Oh, I do have 5 more points, right. Well... yeah, Bradley seems fine. And... an APC, maybe? Yeah, I'll bring in an APC. We didn't need these reinforcements. I'm pretty sure we were good anyway. Yep, and this is the turn where we just push around the corner here, and we gotta be careful because we don't want to become vulnerable to the other one yet. But hey, that's a pretty good start. You just go ahead and set up there. You're going to potentially let out more dudes. Oh, well that was questionable. I guess they lost vision. But you know what? No, before that guy moved, they had vision of us again. Alright, so we're just going to drive right through the control points. At this point, I don't think there's anything they can do to stop that. Oh, I should have fired my howitzer. It has targets again. So you guys can't heat rocket on the move. It turns out none of these dudes matter. We should be shooting at something, because why would you not? But we don't. It doesn't matter what we shoot at, really. And we're going to be moving forward which control points are active quickly enough that we don't even really need to leave guards. Yeah, they're going to be chasing us while moving a quarter of our speed for the rest of the map. Get him! Yeah, that'll show him. Okay. I mean, yeah. One more. Give him one more. Go ahead. Let's see you try it. There we go. Disengaging is the first smart thing we've seen them do all mission.
I'll lay it out straight, Lieutenant. We can't help you unless we know the full story. What destroyed your country?
Well, we found their world. They were dormant, waiting for someone to open the next gate. We tried to study them, use them against themselves, but it was already too late. They'd already started eating everything. We had no choice.
I see. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Again, why not lead with that, right? Why not have that stuff happening at the beginning? Doesn't that seem like the good way to do that? Alright, so it looks like next time we're headed to the UP. But I think that is all we have time for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time tomorrow, hopefully we're going to get like a little bit more plot here, because I'm assuming that we're looking at 3 chapters of 10 missions each, which means we're well over halfway done here, and I still feel like we have just started to get plot. Maybe this is going to turn out to be a lot more game than it looks like it's going to be, but as things are, I have some questions about the pacing. Come back tomorrow to see if those resolve, and we'll see you then.